Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
And this is Estela.
And welcome to
Cafecito
and Crime. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cafecito and Crime, or welcome for the first time. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah,
I'm doing good.
good.
I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I'm a little bit scared, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
You'll be fine.
We hope that everyone is having a good day. And yeah, we're just chilling, feeling thrilling. We went to go get our cafecito because, you know, we got to have it. And we saw that the rocket launched today.
Oh, yeah.
Today is the day that the rocket launched.
The Artemis 2.
Apparently, according to Estela, that she read right before it launched.
I had no idea.
Because she had no idea that was happening.
And I had no idea what none of this was. Nothing. Literally just...
Means that they're going to go around
The moon.
And
they haven't done it since 1972.
Yeah.
Because they want to launch astronauts to the moon in 2028. So they're just going to go, peep some stuff out,
A ver qué pedo. A ver qué hay allí.
Yeah.
A ver si... no vaya a ser que alguien ande por ahí antes que ellos.
Right,
just to make sure they're not stepping anybody's toes.
Exactly.
I told Estela we were watching it, I would shit myself.
Yeah. I don't know how people are astronauts. That shit's scary as fuck.
That looks scary. You're in a tube and you're going to be there for a long time. There's three men and one woman. And I mean, that just looks like, I don't know.
It's hard stuff. That's why they do it. And
and you know what? Good for them. Good for the science. That they do it for the science, They really do.
Yeah.
Besides that, everybody, I hope everyone is, like I said, doing great. We are going to get started today. We are going to I don't know when's the last time we went to Australia. We're going to Australia
Oh, it's
today.
been a while.
It's been a while, but we are going to Australia. So it's going to be to Biga, Australia.
Okay.
So if you'd like to come with us to Biga, Australia, go ahead and grab your cafecitos.
And let's get started.
So Biga, Australia is Let me say that again. Biga, Australia is most famous for its cheese.
Oh, interesting.
So this is the random fact.
The fun random
fact. Yeah. So Biga, Australia is most famous for its cheese. So there is a brand called Biga, Australia. Biga cheese.
Okay. I'm gonna pull it up.
So wait, espérate.
No, I know.
So the brand is one of the most recognizable cheeses in Australia itself.
Right.
It's in Biga. It's called Biga cheese, especially for its cheddar. Ooh. You can even visit the Biga Cheese Heritage Center to learn how it's made. So Biga Cheese is an Australian-owned and operated cheese company located in the beautiful Biga Valley on the south coast of New South Wales. The company was founded by Dairy Cooperative in 1899, and many of the current owners of Biga Cheese are 100% or 100 plus dairy farmers.
Oh, cool.
So Biga Cheese is a truly Australian company employing over 500 staff in the Biga Valley. Around 20% of overall production is exported to over 50 countries around the world. And it's proudly packaged in Biga with cheese sourced from all around Australia.
Ooh.
So, with that being said, Biga is the cheese.
The cheeseness.
The cheeseness. So, all this information I did get from the biga.com or bigacheese.com. And the last one that I found was that almost 80% of the surrounding Biga Valley Shire is national park.
Oh.
So 80%. Okay.
Whoa.
That's big. So, this is also state forest or public reserve. I thought that was pretty
cool
and interesting. So I am going to give a disclaimer, which I should have done it earlier, but I'm going to do it now. We are going to be talking about children, and we will be talking about...
Sorry, I can't find Biga cheese on DoorDash.
So we can't get it.
No.
We can't get it. I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to interrupt your trigger warning.
Yeah, but trigger warning, we are going to be discussing children, girls, and we are going to be discussing rape in this episode. If this is not the episode for you, it's okay. We'll talk to you in the next one. So we will be discussing the Biga schoolgirl murders.
Okay.
Now, It's called the Biga Schoolgirl Murders, but I kind of wanted to not call it that, and I'll explain to you why. I feel like I didn't want to make it so much about it being about the murders. I wanted to be about the victims. So we're going to be going, like I said, to Australia and Biga. To be exact, it is 200 miles from Sydney.
Okay.
That's where. So it's in New South Wales. In 1997, in a town of Biga, was very small. Like we talked, they have nothing but dairy farmers. They're very small. Everyone knows everybody. It was safe. It was very close-knit.
You said 97?
In 97,
Okay.
yes. The story of Lauren Barry and Nichole Collins shook the town to its core. Everyone knew of it or of the case or knew their family or knew the girls themselves. Friday, October the 3rd of 1997 was the start of the Labor Day weekend. A group of friends, including Lauren and Nichole, decided to go camping to celebrate the long weekend. They were going to go to a place called White Rock in Callaroo, which is about 12 minutes outside of Biga. So they were just going to be like minutes away from their home. They were also going to celebrate that Lauren was turning 15. Okay, so Lauren at the time was 14. She was born on October 11th of 1982 to her parents Garrett and Cheryl. And she had an older brother named Nathan, who she was extremely close. Now, I know when I say extremely, no. These kids were like inseparable. The reason is because there was nobody around them. Like they lived in a small town. So when they did get to see each other, it was whenever they would go to school or stuff like that. So nadie estaba como cerca de ellos. So the only one they could play was with each other.
Yeah.
And they were close in age too. I would like to also mention that her brother was going to be on the camping trip as well. Lauren and her family were super close, like I said. She was a homebody. She loved hanging out with her family. Like, she was like, I don't need friends. I have my family. Her brother did say that they, like I said, they didn't have a lot of kids around, so they were always together. They were truly best friends. She would write letters to him and it was like, it was the cutest thing. And he was very cooperative with her. Because there's some brothers that are like, bro, cálmate, like, I don't want to talk to you, and he was very good to her. Lauren was in the 9th grade at the Biga High School. Her friends would say that Lauren was very calm and low-key. She was generous and she was a kind and, she was just sweet and easygoing. Nichole, her best friend, was also going to the camping trip that night. She was born on the 14th of November of 1980, which made her 16. At this time, she lived with her parents, Graham and Delma Collins, in a village called Callaroo. So Callaroo is like basically Biga is in the middle, and then Callaroo is
to the side.
In the side, and the other ones were about, so they're all around there. She was known to be outgoing and friendly, and she was full of life. And if you were in a bad mood, she was going to cheer you up. One of her friends recalls that when she was new at Biga High School, she said that feeling insecure and kind of just weird because she was new. She said it was her first day and she was sitting there at lunch by herself. And Nichole came up to her and told her that she liked her shirt. Aww. And from there, they became inseparable. They were friends. Another one of the friends of their friend group named Rebecca said that Nichole and her would spend weekends riding horses together because she loved to ride horses. Nicole's family lived only 6 minutes from the campsite.
Okay.
So 6 minutes. And her father, Graham, was going to go set up the camp for them.
Okay.
So this was all a thing that everyone was
did all
aware.
The time.
Everybody did it. This was not something new, right?
Yeah.
So not only that, but it was very, very organized. You know, their parents went out there and got them ready.
Yes.
Le dejaron las cosas,
and
everything.
Like, you're 6 minutes away, dude. That's like pretty much nothing.
So he made sure to set up the camp in a nice looking area so that they can see the ocean because they were close to the ocean. Okay. So they were going to spend a nice few days, surrounded by friends and have a good time. Rebecca, another one of the friends that was there as well, Sarah Derry, who was also in the friend group, were going to join. So it was Rebecca, Sarah, Lauren, and Nichole.
And then el hermano, no?
El hermano and a few guys.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So according to Rebecca, the guys were their boyfriends. So Rebecca and Sarah's boyfriend.
Okay.
Pero
y luego el hermano de...
El hermano de... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pero the families didn't have a problem with having girls, with boys like that because they were very trustworthy and they didn't feel like they had to have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. It was considered, like I said, a safe area, and Nicole's parents were only 5 minutes away. Not only that, but Nathan, once again, was going to stay there. And so the girls were like, if anything happens, he's there. It was all set up. Everything was planned, and they were going to go walk back and forth to Nichole's house to change to the restroom because that's how close they were. And they were also gonna make sure that the girls' parents would rotate and come and check on them.
Okay.
So, like I said, everything was planned. Everybody had what they needed to do. The trip was going well at this point, right? They rode horses, they went swimming, they kept their promise of going back and checking in with their parents. A few days go by. And on Sunday, October the 5th, as the trip was winding down, it had been so much fun. They were going to be off the next day too. So they kind of sticked around a little bit longer. So they sat around the campfire and they listened to music and just talked and laughed. Nichole had been feeling down because the night before, while she was sitting around the campfire, she had just broken up with her boyfriend, Andrew. And she was kind of down and kind of like, oh, it's because,
Well, sí, I mean, you're 15.
My boyfriend, I'm 15, whatever.
Mis amigas tienen novio, yo ya no tengo novio.
Exactly. So her ex-boyfriend, Andrew, was going to be at a party at Jella Jella. Okay. So Jella Jella, that Sunday, when they were sitting there, Jella Jella was about 2 hours away from the campsite walking.
Okay.
She decided that she was going to walk over there.
Bitch, why? 2 hours?
2 hours. 2-hour walk. And they were going to go walk over there because she's like, I'm going to go work on things.
With him.
So she turns around and tells Lauren, you want to go with me? And Lauren le dice, yeah, let's go.
And the guys didn't think to...
That was something that was a big question in the whole case because it's like, hey, your brother is there, did anybody think to stop them? But everybody was like, this was a safe area.
Yeah, right.
Like there was no reason for them to think
that something was going to happen.
Right. And so they were like, there's no way that they're not going to make it to the party.
And back.
Basically, and back. So it seemed normal. And they were 14 and 16. They didn't have a car. They walked everywhere.
Right.
So unfortunately, this would be the last time that their friends did get to see Lauren and Nichole. The next day, on October the 6th, Lauren's brother woke up and he was like, oh, where's my sister Lauren? So he's looking around and they're not there. So the other girls woke up and were like, oh, they were going to go to the party at Jella, I think it's called. So they're probably either at Nichole's house because they made it back and they're at Nichole's house, or they're
over there.
Yeah. He went back home from the campsite. He's like looking for her, and he went back and asked his parents and
El hermano.
And he was like, hey, Lauren didn't come back, blah, blah. And they're like, no, nobody's seen them. So Lauren's mom started to call the other parents también to see if anybody had, maybe the girls were with them or they had spent the night. And there was no information. The girls at the campsite said that they had left for a party and that they figured that they had gone to Nichole's house. That's what they figured,
Yeah.
But nobody had seen them make it. The search started immediately. As soon as the parents found out any little thing, they were out there. I'm talking about everybody moved quickly. So while they were doing this, they called the Vega police. And you know how the Vega police is, a lot of police is like, oh, well, maybe
they ran away. They'll come back.
No. By around midday, they were already looking for them. So they were like, no, because their parents were like, there's no way that my daughter would have left. There's nothing that could seem that they would, why would they walk away or just run away? So they didn't, like I said, waste time. While everybody was moving quickly looking for the girls, a council worker came across a hot pink TV. Hot pink TV.
A TV?
TV. Like a television.
Yeah.
That was set on the side of the road where the girls went missing. So it was just sitting there. He picks it up and he takes it with him because he's like, ooh.
Well, somebody left it out.
Somebody left it out for a reason.
Yeah.
So it's just out of the ordinary to fucking drive around and see a hot pink TV. So it literally was hot pink. Sitting on the side of the road. So he stopped, he picked it up, and he took it to a pawn shop.
Yeah.
He said he painted it black and he sold it.
Good for him.
So, but this was around the area of where
that the girls would have gone
missing.
Yeah.
We want to keep this TV in mind because it will come back up later. Like I mentioned before, the search began for the girls quickly and a big movement. They had search rescue dogs. The state emergency services came out along with the whole town. I'm talking about everybody. Hundreds of people were looking for Lauren and Nichole. They were doing an up and down sweep of the brushlands. I mean, because obviously
it's a lot of
there's a lot of, like I said before, there's a lot of land. Lauren's brother was driving, Nate, he was driving around his car, and he would like go to spots where he thought maybe they could be, and he put posters all over the place. He was driving, screaming their names outside of the door. He had like pictures all over his car to pay attention so people could see them. He looked everywhere that he could. And both Lauren and Nichole's parents joined in the search. Grant, Lauren's dad, spent every waking moment that he could looking for Lauren. He did not sleep. He did not eat. He was just looking at all times. The first day of the search, one of the locals did find a shirt. It was gray, like a gray long sleeve shirt. And so then next thing you'd know, they found
shirt?
this clothes. It was a shirt, and it was a gray shirt, como button up, y una como another shirt, como que you put on top. But that one was a plaid, like red plaid. And the shirt was taken to the police, and then they determined that it was Lauren's, and they gave it to the parents.
Oh, shit. What?
Yeah.
You didn't want to like look it over, like
Apparently not.
some evidence?
No.
What?
And they put it away.
He said they probably washed it.
They put it away. I'm guessing they were just, because at this point they're thinking the girls are just missing, so they're like, they didn't really think about doing all of the things that you thought, because I thought the same thing, but they put them away. By Wednesday, the 8th of October, Shane Box, which was the lead detective in charge of the case, did some checking around to see if any of if they had taken anything personal. Like they went and asked the parents, hey, did they take their clothes? But no, they didn't take anything.
When they went on the what? They were just going to go to
They were just going to go to the party.
And then come back.
Right. Their bank accounts were both untouched. So there was no evidence of them, like, if they're going to run away, then they're going to need money. They're going to touch it. So this is just confirmation that they did not run away. So
which I'm sure they already figured that they hadn't.
Yeah. But. So without much to go on, Detective Box did contact other senior detectives in the nearby towns. So apparently there's a lot of little towns along the edge of New Wells, right? So one of them is Walligan, Nowram, and Bethlehem's Bay, and these were all in the same area of Biga. So they're kind of like en una línea, and all of them, they were like, yeah, let's go. All the lead detectives came in, and they were all helping try to solve the case. At this point, the media did get a hold of the case, and now this is where I cried. Like, I literally sat there and I looked at these poor people. The mom and the dad were just a mess. They had aged like 50 million years.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I mean, they gave a plea. So please, just tell us where they're at, whatever it is. The dad is like crying, and then the mom, I mean, I don't know. It was just so emotional, because I'm like, I cannot imagine
your daughter's
my
that
baby
age.
being gone, because I have a daughter that age.
Yeah. Looking up the girls.
Yeah. So at this point, the parents were, like I said, they did ask for a plea to anyone that had any information to come forward. And in the town park, they did have a vigil where there were, I mean, Stella.
Girl, they're babies.
They're babies.
They look, I feel like they look younger than their age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're babies.
Yeah,
they're
babies.
Yeah. So even though Nichole is 16, she does not look 16.
No, they look like 12.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So then they had a town in the town's park. They did have a vigil where thousands, not hundreds, thousands of people came to pray with the families and just like be there with them and everything. So the whole town was shut down that day. Everybody was like, no, we're going to help you find your girls or whatever, praying for them. Now, another thing that I did read was that the police saw that a lot of people were coming in and out to the house of the families, or of the two families, because les llevaban comida. They would take food, and like they were like they're praying with them, offering their support.
Yeah.
I mean, they did come together.
Yes, the community.
The family's plea did help. The police received a lot of phone calls and tips. One local mother called saying that on Sunday, October the 5th, at around 9:50 p.m., she was driving to a place called Taratha? Yeah. Tartha.
Sounds good to me.
Tartha. Yeah, it's Tathra. Tartha, I think that's what it is. That is in between Biga and Julet, where they were going.
Okay.
So it's in between there. This place so then she had to drive through there, and when she was in between this place, she said that she saw a car that was stopped on the highway. And she said she couldn't get past the car safely because she was kind of like...
It was like kind of blocking.
And so with her headlights, she stood there hasta que se mudaron. And she said that there was two girls talking to a man near the car. She was able to give a good description of the man and the car. Another tip came through to the police saying that they had seen a hot pink TV that was left on the side of the road. Nothing came from the tips. Like, they couldn't follow up with any of this. There wasn't somebody that, somebody
else saw it too.
Yeah, somebody else saw it too. So the case started to go kind of cold, unfortunately. The detectives had no way of finding out what happened to the girls.
And it's crazy because when it is so many small towns or a small town, I feel like you go through the leads fast, or it may seem like you do. And then sometimes what happens is that it's somebody that's not from town that pasa and does something like this, and they just fucking leave, and then,
Agree. So at the point where nothing was coming up, that the detectives were, the help that had come down to give them, a hand, like all of those lead detectives from the other towns that I mentioned, they actually had to go back.
Right.
They're
like, have their own cases.
There's nothing. And only 4 local detectives stayed and continued working on the case. Now, almost a month had passed and still not a lot of activity. After this time, an informant from Yes.
From where?
Yes. That's the name of the place.
Yes?
Yes.
How do you spell it?
YASS.
Yes, girl.
Yes. Which is about 3 hours from Biga. Said that he had heard about the missing girls on TV. And he told the police that he thinks that they might want to look into 2 guys that were known for being criminals. Now, Yes, remember, is about 3 hours from Biga.
Right.
So it's like from here to Waco. Like, it's kind of far. So he only found out of this because of the
It was
media.
on the news, right.
So the informant said that he had overheard these 2 criminals. Their names are Leslie Camilleri and Lindsay Beckett.
Okay.
So their names are really close, so I'm going to call them by their last name.
Leslie
and Lindsay Beckett and Leslie Camilleri and Lindsay Beckett.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Leslie and Lindsay.
Yeah. So,
I'm over here,
and Lauren, whatever. So it was a lot. So the informant said that he overheard the 2 guys speaking about the case, and they said, I bet that they're going to try to blame this shit on us. Bro.
Oh.
But you're 3 hours away. Why would they?
Right. How they, yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, but they kept going on and on about the case and about how, they better not do that and blah, blah, whatever. It was just weird, and he just felt a little uncertain, and knowing that these guys were... I mean,
it's, call it, and you never know. It might lead
somewhere. You never know.
Yeah,
you're right. Not only that, the 2 also mentioned that they had recently been in Biga.
Okay.
So who are these 2? Well, they were not good news.
Oh, yeah.
And
sure.
Let me tell you a little bit about them. So Leslie Alfred Camilleri was born on May 31st of 1969. At this time, he's 27. To a family of 6 children in Liverpool, New South Wales. He was from a deprived childhood. Like, he was from a bad childhood. He did a lot of theft and vandalism growing up. He was known to have poor impulse control and ended up in explosive outbursts and destructive behaviors. That's what he was known for. He was an uncontrolled child, and he was in and out of juvenile detention. He was on trial. Wow. He was on trial 3 weeks before the Biga murders for charges related to sexual offenses. Okay? He was charged. I'm not laughing. I'm like, I can't believe this. He was charged against his 11-year-old Defeco daughter.
What?
So Defeco, do you know what that is?
No.
So I'm going to tell you what a Defeco daughter is. Apparently, according to Google, it means that it's a child or an adult who is treated in every practical sense as a daughter, including receiving care, affection, and financial support, but who is not biologically related to or legally adopted.
Okay.
So basically, it was his daughter that he treated as a daughter, but it wasn't his biological daughter. And he was being accused of sexually abusing her. The trial was, unfortunately, after 2 days, aborted. They just said it was technicalities, and he was released on bail.
Okay.
He had 146 prior convictions of theft. He had known Beckett for about 2 years, and they both entertained
each
other's stealing cars and doing all of it. Now, Lindsay Hanoi Beckett was born on the 27th of March of 1974. At this point, he was 22 in New Zealand, and he, like I said, had been knowing him, Camilleri, for about 2 years. And Camilleri's about 5 years older than him. So not only that, but he would commit crimes with him, but he was known to have a very low IQ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pobrecito, but not pobrecito. His father was a rapist, and his mother did remarry someone that was a heavy drinker. His stepdad would beat his mother at all times.
Oh my God.
And he once got a beating because his father could not find his keys to the car.
Wow. Okay, and how's that my problem?
And then I also read that he would, dijo que one time they stole his car del papá, somebody else, not him. Del stepdad, and he beat him.
He beat Lindsay.
He beat Beckett so bad to where he was unconscious. Because alguien mal le robó el carro. So he was an all-around bad person también, towards him. By the age of 14, he was so deep into drugs and he moved to Australia. I think he moved in with his uncle or someone like that. And then he did start a family eventually, but he would often beat his partner. También. And they did have 4 children. He was also involved in numerous crimes, including the rape of a 19-year-old named Rosemary. Okay? Listen to this. September of 1997. This would make it only 2 weeks before the girls disappeared.
Right.
Okay? So let me tell you. They abducted Rosemary and they kept her captive for 12 hours. Around these 12 hours, where they would take her to different places and rape her repeatedly.
What?
Yeah. Now, their plan was to throw her off a bridge. Para matarla, right?
Yeah.
But they stopped at a rest stop because she said, can I go to the restroom? She asked them, can I go to the restroom? Can I go to the restroom? And she was wearing only a T-shirt and shoes.
Oh, my gosh.
So they were like, yeah, you can go. Because they figured, no, she's not going to run.
Right.
But she ran.
Oh, girl. Of course.
She fucking ran. Thank God.
Yeah.
And so she ran and she was able to get to... Well, first she hid and then she ran to a nearing farmhouse que estaba por ahí. And when she got there, they called the police. Now, this is what pisses me the fuck off. I don't know. I'm sorry. And I hope that the Australian police never listens to my case because that's not, I doubt that I'll get this far, but they piss me off. So apparently the guys, Beckett and
Lindsay and Leslie.
No, I can't say the...
No, but I'm just saying it now.
Camilleri and Beckett caught up with her.
After she had ran away?
After she had ran.
Okay.
Okay. And whenever they got there to the actual farmhouse where she was hiding, where the police was questioning her, they questioned them too in front of her and they said that she was lying.
Right. So now it was her word against theirs.
They said that she was lying and that everything was consensual. And so she decided not to press any charges.
That's so sad.
Yeah. I feel like the police in this story did not do enough to keep these two
off the streets.
Yeah. On October the 25th, the Bega police got a phone call from the Canberra Police Department to tell them that they recovered a car that was stolen by Beckett and Cambria. Why can't I say his name? Camilleri. So Beckett and Camilleri, and while going through it, they found some maps.
Okay.
Inside the car of Becca and some clothing that had blood on it in the trunk. So the detectives were like, okay, well, let's go talk to them, right? So now they're driving up to Canberra. And as they were going up there to speak to Beckett, they were able to get the reports and kind of go over the case,
before they got there, right?
Yeah, it had been a little bit. So while reading the reports, one of the detectives came across the statement about the hot pink TV.
Okay.
So he started to think, okay, so if I had a hot pink TV, I don't know why the TV was fucking hot pink.
That's what I was thinking. That's what when you said a hot pink TV.
No, but if you look it up, it's
TV.
a hot pink fucking TV. Así como de esas de had the big boxes. It was hot pink.
No, yeah, pero it was like a big one or like a regular one?
Yeah, it was like a 20-inch. I mean, it wasn't like a small one, pero tampoco.
The only ones that I can think that are hot pink were like a Barbie one, you know, que tenía
No. This was bigger, bitch.
Que tenía el VHS.
No. This one was bigger, like for real.
What?
So anyway.
Yeah.
So then the TV was in the back. So then he's thinking, okay, so if the TV's in the back of the car and they're going to put the girls in the car.
Right.
Y les estorbaba la caja because it's huge. La tele. So then all they did was they took it out.
Mm-hmm. And they left it on the side of the road.
They left it on the side of the road. Because it was around the same area where the girls
would have gone missing. Yeah.
So he had a thought of that in the back of his mind, but he really didn't put much into it. While they did start interviewing Beckett, at first, this motherfucker, he's just sitting there, girl. Let me tell you. Está sentado. He's not wearing shoes.
¿Cuál? Beckett or Camilleri?
No, Camilleri no. Beckett. He's sitting down. He's not wearing shoes. He's in his socks. Y luego he's playing with the rotating chair.
Okay.
And just going around and around and going like that with the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Asking him questions. He's being really disrespectful. He's not interested in what...
Not taking it serious.
Nah. He's like, whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. Now, towards the end of the interview, by this time, so he said...
Why is this TV this pink?
I don't know. It looks like fucking... Doesn't it look like... ¿Sabes qué parece Pepto-Bismol?
Yeah.
Like straight up. I don't understand why the TV was that color.
I wonder if maybe they painted it because it looks como pintada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that TV, but I just really needed to pull it up. I was like, what? Yeah. No wonder that man picked it up and I'm like, I'm going to go pawn this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did. He pawned it.
And he painted it black and then he pawned it.
Yeah, he did paint it black and then he pawned it. The next thing you know, he said, have you ever had a pink TV? At this point, Beckett is sitting there and he se está haciendo like, you know, laying down, haciéndose el dormido and shit, like being an asshole. And whenever he said that, Estela, you can see it. There's a video of them, you know, doing the interview. He was going like this to the chair. He stopped.
Yeah.
He stopped the chair. And his whole face and demeanor changed. The detectives could tell that they hit something. They hit him a nerve, right? And after saying that, he went quiet for a minute. I guess he was trying to think about what he was going to say, getting his words together.
Right.
And then eventually he said, yes, at one time I did have a pink TV in my car. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the demeanor changed immediately.
Yeah, like from playful, I don't give a shit, I don't care, why am I here, to like,
now I was like, oh.
Ahora sí se sentó bien.
Now you're like, excuse me? You perked up? So after they asked the question, they were like, okay, well, that's all, you know, whatever. And they walked away. So they went back to talk to the informant, which was this person that had told them that maybe they should look into him. And they said, hey, you know, what about this TV? And the guy says, well, the TV was mine. Okay. And they stole the TV from me because, according to them, they were taking payment for drugs.
Okay.
So this means that this puts both of the men around the area where Lauren and Nichole were taken.
Yeah.
Right? So Camilleri was also arrested on October the 28th for unrelated reasons. Has nothing to do with this. The Biga detectives said, okay, well, let me go. We're going to go talk to him since he's in jail. So as soon as they brought up the TV, he refused to answer any questions.
Of course.
The detectives were later told that after the interview, Camilleri went back to his cell and he was crying and banging his head against the wall, talking about that he was very upset about something that they had asked him. So they're thinking that when they asked him about the TV, they realized, you know,
he might have something to do with it.
They go back now to Beckett because they could tell that Beckett was a little bit weaker.
Out of the two. Whoever was going to say something was going to be Beckett.
Exactly. Detectives take back some of the pictures of the girls now. And so they put the pictures of the girls in front of him. These pictures are like 8x10, like big. And so when Beckett sees the pictures of the girls, he turns them over. And he says, I need to go for a smoke break.
Okay.
So when he goes out for a smoke break, he starts crying. And he tells the guards, they got us.
The guards is probably like, what? Bitch, I know what the fuck you talking about. They got you. They didn't got us. They got you.
They got you. The guards bring him back in. Going, ven, pásale.
Compa.
Pásale. And he tells the detectives to give him a map and he will tell them where they are.
Oh, shit. Like that?
Like that.
I guess he figured that he wasn't going to be able to get out of it now.
They did, as he asked, and he pointed to a place called Fiddler's Green Creek in Victoria. So Beckett went on to confess to the murders of Lauren and Nichole. So I am going to tell you exactly what he said happened.
According to him.
According to Beckett, right? This is going to be really difficult to listen to. I'm letting you know right now. I'm saying it literally in his own words.
Right.
So he claims that on October the 5th, they were riding around in Biga and in an old Ford Testra. So es Testra, así se llama el car, which they had stole from the informant. So the informant...
Like had said.
That's it. And the TV and the checkbook that they took from the informant. According to...
Al pobre lo dejaron sin nada.
Sin nada, güey. According to Beckett, they were doing that because he owed them
money for
drugs.
Right.
So while driving around, they were drinking and getting high and injecting themselves in...
With whatever.
Whatever. I think it was like heroin or something like that. So he said that they were super high and they decided to drive to Tethra, which is like that other lady was going. Because Tethra is like...
In between. You said it was in between.
No, es al último. So in between estaba that other place where the girls were walking to. And then in between was Biga, which where he was going. So they were going down that way towards that place. So this place that is like right on the ocean. Like literally it's in the edge of the ocean. So he says that they were driving over there and they found the girls walking at around 10 p.m.
Just a coincidence. Like they just so happened to stumble upon the girls, sadly.
So they pulled up next to them and they asked if they needed a ride to the beach. And he said that both girls got in willingly. Now, this was very controversial because the family did not want to hear that. The family were like, there's no way
they would have
gone into the car, especially an old-ass car like that.
And at that time.
Right. But they said that they were just... I guess they would have never done that. They said that even their friends were like,
there's no way.
We even discussed about how we would never get in a car with the stranger. But I mean, it could have been one way. Police said that, and the family believed that they were forced, taken against their will.
Right.
They don't know.
We don't know.
At this point, they're going against what this guy's saying. He said that they had to leave. The car was so small that they had to leave the TV behind, just like the detective said. So,
but the TV was in the trunk.
And the TV was in the back seat.
Oh.
Pero no abría.
Right, okay,
so
right.
Then they said that they left the TV behind in the road because the girls would not fit.
Right.
So...
And they didn't care about the TV because it wasn't even theirs anyway.
The car was so old que no abrían las puertas de atrás.
Okay.
O estaba todo chocado en la verga. So then, at this point, they were driving to Tethra with the girls and they were just hanging out to the beach, whatever.
No.
They got to the beach.
No.
And then the girls asked him to go back to the campsite, according to him. And they told him, okay, we'll take you back. So they drove back as if they were going to the campsite. But after a while, Beckett says that Camilleri got upset and pulled out a knife on the girls.
Why?
Exactly.
Why everybody be pulling out knives and guns? Why?
And he told Beckett, go ahead and get your knife out too.
Why?
So they started to shout out the girls and then they were held captive for 12 hours instead. Driving up and down the border of Victoria, drinking and getting high and injecting themselves. In these 12 hours, the girls, they went through a lot. Not only did they go through a lot, they endured some very horrible things that no one should ever endure. He said that they would stop and rape them multiple times and then hold knives against their necks.
Which is in line with what they did with the 19-year-old.
With the 19-year-old, yeah. They would make them perform oral sex on them. And they would tell them that they better not use their teeth or they were going to knock them out.
Oh, my God.
Both of the men took turns with each girl. And they got high and drank a lot. At one point, Camilleri took a nap in the back of the car while Beckett took turns driving. At this point, he wakes up. And when he told them where they were at, he said, stop. Where are we here? I don't know why, if he freaked out or something from the drugs. I don't know what happened. But he wanted to rape the one with the brown hair.
Okay. What the fuck?
So Beckett drove off with Nichole and he left, I guess, him to do whatever he was going to do with the girl with the brown hair, which was Lauren. And when he went back to pick them up, he said that Beckett said, we can't go back now. We have to kill. Beckett said that he told him, we can't go back now. We have to kill them.
Like, no los pueden dejar ir or whatever.
So at this point, they were driving south on the border of Victoria and they decided to turn around to go towards New Wales. I'm guessing like trying to figure out donde las iban a matar. And around 7 a.m. is when they got to Fiddler's Green Creek. Made the girls get off, walk towards the creek, and made them strip off of their clothes. They had them wash themselves. like que se limpiaran, and to see if there was, to, according to them, get rid of any DNA that was evidence of their rape. They forced them to get out, get undressed. Get out of the water, get dressed again, and then they hog-tied Lauren, and then they tied Nichole to a nearby tree. They both were gagged with their jeans. Now, Beckett said that Camilleri had told him that he had to kill the girls.
But he had to be the one that... So Camilleri told Beckett?
That he had to kill the girls, and if he didn't, he was going to kill him.
Oh, my God.
He said that after he told him that, he walked away and back to the car. So they're in the creek or in the area. Water.
And be like, you take care of it.
You take care of it, yeah. He took Lauren, and he took her down to the water, and he was holding her face down into the water. So this is what he said, and these are, I quote from his actual words. I went over to Lauren, and I dragged her down to the water. I held her head under the water. She was struggling, and she knocked me into the water, onto one of my knees. I think I left, went into the water. I don't know what he was saying this. Then she pissed me off a little bit, and I opened my knife. It was in my left hand, and I stabbed Lauren on the left side of her neck. I said in my interview that it was the right side of the neck and with my right hand, but I've been thinking since, and it wasn't. It was my right thumb, which then he cut himself. So basically he was saying...
It's because I had a cut in my thumb. So that means it was with this hand, not this end.
He said after a couple of seconds after I stabbed her, she stopped moving. Then what he said about Nichole...
And she was tied to a tree, right?
She was tied to a tree. After I stabbed Lauren, I ran up the bank to where I tied Nichole up. She must have heard what I had done to Lauren, because when I got to her, she said, "You're going to kill me, aren't you?" I said, "Shut up." And I walked around to her left side and I cut her throat 2 or 3 times. This was across her throat. The knife was in my left hand. Nichole was sitting down where I cut her throat. It gets worse. After this, she was thrashing around in the ground. She was trying to scream, but nothing was coming out. I think I kicked her because she wouldn't stay still. And then I put my foot on her to keep her still. This didn't work, so I stabbed her in the throat. I aimed to stab her at the hard thing in her neck. I pushed the knife all the way in, but she still would not keep still.
Oh my God.
So I worked out where her heart would be, and I stabbed her in the left side of her chest. She still didn't stop moving, so I stabbed her in the front of the chest. I was where he was trying to aim, what he basically saying that he was trying to aim for her heart. I needed 2 hands to get the knife through her chest. She kept moving, so I kicked her in the head a couple of times. She kept moving, but she was slowing down. I waited until she stopped moving, which didn't take long, end quote.
Wow.
That right there tells you they both of them did not have any, not even like the slightest slither
of remorse
or of any kind, like anything in your heart for a human being. Like, why would you kick this baby? Like, why?
Or just, why would you pick him up in the first place?
But why hurt them? Like, I don't get it. So then he said after he was done murdering them, he walked back to the car with where Camilleri was, and then Camilleri asked him, "Did you see the demon?"
What? The fuck?
After that, they both got in the car and they left the scene with Beckett driving, and they went back to South Wales. Over the next few days, Beckett said that they burned the clothes that they were wearing. They burned the clothes that they had taken from the girls, and they got rid of their knives by throwing them over a bridge into a lake. They also washed the car and scrubbed it clean. Also tried to take off any DNA that they could, and then they returned back to Yas. After the confession, the detectives did try to speak to Camilleri, telling him what was confessed, but he told them Beckett was wrong, that he didn't do anything and he had nothing to do with the murders.
Of course.
He said, and I quote, "We picked up the girls and I went to the beach. I shot up heroin behind the shed while the girls were drinking. I was trying to OD. We drove around with the girls. I was asleep most of the time. Beckett later told me that he had dropped both the girls off at home. I remember waking up and seeing the girls. We were parked in a bush, and I asked Beckett where we were, and he said we were in Victoria on a main road somewhere. I went off my head. I told him, I want to go home. Let's get the fuck out of here. Then I saw him walking out of a bush and he had blood all over him. And he told me that he cut his finger, end quote. So he claims that for the 12 hours that they drove around,
he slept most of the time.
He slept and he didn't do anything.
He was trying to OD.
He was trying to OD. Beckett was driven to the site of where the girls were left behind. And Detective Box, which is the lead detective, he took it upon himself that when he discovered the bodies of the girls, he did drive back to Bega and told the families. Mm-hmm. And when he did, he broke down. He couldn't say it. He couldn't even look at them. He just had become so close to them. Mm-hmm. And, he had children of his own. Mm-hmm. He just couldn't believe it. Since the murders were carried out in Victoria, the evidence was sent over to Victoria along with Beckett and with Camilleri. So Lindsay Beckett did plead guilty to the murders, and on the 20th of August of 1998, he was sentenced to 2 life sentences with no possibility of parole. But after 35 years, he could have parole.
Oh, shit.
Now, at this time, this was the longest time that's given to anybody in Australia. So he will be eligible for parole in 2033, Estela.
Ya mero, güey, ¿qué falta?
Bitch, he's going to be 59. Good luck letting him out.
Well, they're going to let him out.
So Leslie Camilleri's trial began on February the 15th of 1991, and it ran until April the 10th. 70 witnesses were called, Estela, including the star witness, which was Beckett.
I'm looking them up. These hoe-bags bitches.
He was very detailed on what they did to the girls, and it was...
Who, Beckett?
Beckett, but It was just so heartbreaking to know that their families were...
Wait, listening, yeah.
And he spent 5 days on the witness box. 5 days.
Yeah.
Like, he was just telling everything. His defense stated that Camilleri didn't kill the girls, that Beckett had killed them. What they didn't know was that, do you guys remember the shirt that I mentioned before?
The one that the parents was given back to the parents?
That belonged to Lauren? Well, the parents were able to give it back to the police, and they checked it for DNA.
Oh, I'm glad that they didn't wash it or something.
And guess what? It was positive for match for semen on the shirt for Camilleri.
No que no, puto?
It was positive.
Nobody believed them anyways. I mean,
no. Not only that...
They caught you.
They caught him, yeah. Not only... But once again, like we said last week, if you did it, you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
Not only that, but in every location where they had assaulted the girls, there was evidence linking to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, there was no way that he could say that he didn't do it. He was found guilty by the Supreme Court on April the 20th of 1999, and he was sentenced to a life imprisonment. So he cannot have parole. No,
good.
Not him. The other one, because I guess he
took a plea deal. Right. And he was going to testify against Camilleri.
Yeah. So for the murder, he is never to be released, right? But the judge made a statement, and this is what he said. Mm-hmm. Using the control which you clearly had over the weaker-willed but equally evil companion, which was Beckett, mm-hmm. you instructed him to perform acts that in somewhat perverse way, it could be said that you probably didn't process the courage to perform yourself. It is terrible to contemplate the prospect that as a consequence of the order which my view injustice and proper appreciation of sentencing principles would require in your case. You may never be released from prison. However, I consider that it is my duty is clear. Through your own actions, you have forfeited your right to ever walk among us again. End quote. In 2001, he had the nerve to appeal his sentence.
Of course.
And he was denied. Yes. And then in May of 2002, he tried again, and he was denied again. Good. And then in December of 2012, Camilleri pleaded guilty for murdering a 13-year-old. Pure Bird was her name. Prue Bird in February of 1992.
Oh, shit.
Yes, ma'am.
So he's just been doing this shit since... Wow.
Yeah, and he was given an additional 28 years in prison.
Wow.
On top of all that. When he was sentenced, one of the parents of the girls of Lauren, or not sure which one, Lauren or Nichole, she screamed out, "I hope you rot in hell."
Hell yeah. Same. Yo también.
So 2 young lives were taken, but they are not defined by how they died, but how they're remembered for who they were. And this is the case of Lauren Barry and Nichole Collins, the Bega schoolgirl murders.
That's so sad.
Super sad. And not only that, but since I did ask Estela, because I was like, dude, I need to find out if I'm supposed to do a fun fact on
Because it
Biga,
just
or was I supposed
Victoria.
to do, or Victoria? But no, I did a fun fact on where they were actually, like, the place where they were killed.
Found.
So the fun fact of Fiddler's Green Creek is that the name comes from maritime folklore, a legendary afterlife for sailors filled with music, dancing, and endless joy.
Oh, wow, that's cool. I like that.
I know, but the thing is
that.
that the girls were killed there, so they're gonna be with endless joy, hopefully, and they're not gonna be suffering anymore and living with what they had to go through.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think. You can follow us on Instagram at
Cafecito and Crime Pod. And if you would like to download our episodes, leave us a review and or rate us, we would really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you in the next one. Bye.